I'm not visible on the live.
You should be visible.
Maybe I'm watching an old one.
Yeah,
Oh, there we go.
You're probably watching the one. Yeah, you're good.
Good morning, everyone.
All right, welcome in, guys.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Welcome. Audio check. Can you guys hear us? Can everybody hear us and see us and see our screens? Can you guys? Is everything looking good? Is everything looking good? Give us a yes if everything's looking good.
No echo today.
Beautiful. And you guys hear Mike as well. I hope everyone can hear Mike. We are like we're getting better at this stuff. We're just going to become pro streamers. We're not even going to trade anymore. We're just going to stream. That's it. We're just pro streamers.
They're saying I do have an echo. I think you have to turn the audio on your computer all the way down.
It's all the way down.
Oh, okay.
On my end, it's all the way down. But Mike is echoing. People were saying Mike is echoing. Maybe if I do this. You know what I'll do? I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try something quick before we dive into it. Mike, I'm gonna mute the speaker for a second. Try talking now.
All right. Can you guys? Is there an echo now? Just testing.
Can you guys hear Mike now? Or you can't hear him? Because I'm thinking that you guys can't hear him. If it's better, way better.
Way better.
Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. Okay, so a little button I have to press. Awesome, perfect. So, welcome in, guys. Welcome in. I mean, look at the charts. This is a stab to my heart. I have a broken heart this morning. I'm looking at the charts, and I'll tell you why. You guys probably all know why. Look at SPY. I mean, would you just look at it, right? Just take a second and just like bask in its gloriness. It has maintained technical demand. It did exactly what we were saying it was going to do. Timing for me, I'll show you a little bit what I did yesterday, was just off, right? Levels held, our technical ideas maintained. What we spoke about pre-market manifested, and it's now showing it in front of us, right? It is showing it right in front of us this morning. And we were going to talk about the levels this morning. We're going to talk about what SPY can do going forward, what levels have to clear now from where upside, right? The market is sustaining demand, right? The market sustained demand. Yesterday, I'll tell you straight up, at least the one thing I did right yesterday was the fact that I knew that the market sell-off downside was not of substance, right? It was just simply a pullback in technical demand, finding liquidity down below, and it ripped higher after that. So we are going to talk about these ideas today. We're going to talk about not only SPY, but we're going to talk about the chip strength, particularly on Nvidia. Where are the opportunities today in Nvidia? There's opportunities back at demand below. It is simply there, right? Demand below 161, key technical demand below. We are going to go over it today. And this is something that you guys have to understand is like in your trading, and I'll tell you this honestly, right? Part of the reasons why I do pre-markets, and Mike, you can probably attest to this too, because you're also here with me. Execution, your analysis must meet your execution. And there is going to be some moments in time where you are probably right, but your execution is just simply off. It's going to happen, but it's the biggest mistake you can possibly make as a trader, right? It's one of the mistakes that you look at and it's frustrating, right? It's frustrating, but you have to move on, right? You have to move on to the next day because there's going to be opportunities every single session. Even though you might have been right, the timing could potentially have been off, and that can change the whole outcome of the trade. So today's session, we are going to talk about what can we do moving forward now in Nvidia, what can we do moving forward in AMD, where is the opportunity on Tesla, right? I think Mike is going to talk about an opportunity in Tesla above 300. We're also going to talk about Apple Apple 208.50 breakdown yesterday was quite nice, but beautiful liquidity grab today, and we can talk about potential upside today. And we're also going to talk about names like Amazon. I think Mike, you're also watching Amazon. I'll let you go over that, and we'll finish off with names like Meta. We'll go over Meta. We'll go over PLTR. We'll go over some airline stocks if we have time today. I think Mike was talking about some earnings on some airline stocks. So we'll dive into all this today. We're gonna have a good pre-market session, and it's going to be a nice one. So anyway, in terms of our economic data, I want to just drop in our economic data here for a second, and I want to talk about it. Today's session is Thursday, July 10th. This morning we have data, right? Data we have at 8:30, which was about 6 minutes ago. That was jobless claims. Besides that, today's session we also have some data at 11 o'clock, and that's pretty much it. Yesterday we had FOMC minutes. That was the big data release of yesterday's session. Today, nothing else to talk about besides some 8:30 data and some 11 o'clock data. You do have a bond auction at 1 p.m. The 30-year bond auction tends to cause some volatility, so be careful into the bond auction. Besides that, nothing else on the docket for today's session, which leads us into charts. We'll talk about charts today. We'll spend the entirety of today's session talking about charts. Mike, I'm actually going to let you start this off. I'll let you kick off SPY, and I'll let you begin your level review.
Yeah, so we're pretty much opening into the same supply as yesterday. You know, where Rav shorted at what 624 and change yesterday. We're opening into that same supply. So if you look at SPY, it's 624.50 is the level that I have. I don't know. You have the same level, Brett?
I do. So my supply is 624.5 on SPY.
Yeah, 624.50, or on ES, that's 63.15-ish. All right. And then for downside, if we do get downside, I would need to see a move back under 622. I know Brett's watching 621, which is yesterday's low, but I have a level on the hourly at 622 for SPY.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like what I would say is it basically is the same thing, right? So yesterday's session, just kind of in recap of what happened, we knew the bull flag was happening, right? We started talking about the formation of the bull flag on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday's session, immediate breakout, right? So you guys saw the immediate breakout in the market, and you had to really have just chased the upside yesterday to catch it off the open. And if you didn't catch the upside off the open, you had to look for pullback longs back in demand. So pullback longs back in demand. It looks like we lost Mike. Where's Mike? Oh, he's back. Okay.
I'm here.
So we basically ripped the supply, right? And then we sold off back into demand. And yesterday's session, the short opportunities were obviously back at resistance, like Mike was saying, back at the 624.50. And the demand opportunities, the long opportunities were back at support, right? And what did we say yesterday about support zones? We said yesterday's support zones is 622. That was where I went long yesterday. I went long here at 622. I ended up stopping out under 621.70 and change over here, and I just walked away, right? And this was my mistake yesterday, was not giving it time. I should have just honestly given it more time, built more size into 622 and just held with the 621 stop. It would have been a much better trade for me, and I would have just held for a longer time. But again, it's difficult to do this sometimes, right? Because if you look at the market, we actually stayed in range at my demand from 622 to 621 from 10:36 in the morning all the way till we finally broke out at around 2 p.m. So it was almost 3 hours and 20 minutes of pretty much flat price action. So even though we were right about our demand, right, we were right about our support, it doesn't mean anything, right? Because timing was just not there, right? It just took too long for us to react off support. Trades for me, like the best trades for me are ones that will go fast, right? They're going to hit my level, they're going to react, and they're going to work quickly. These type of trades are stuff that I really dislike because it can pull back to your demand zone. And sure, everybody has support there, right? But where's the juice, right? Where is the acceleration in SPY? And there was no acceleration after we pulled back to demand. There was no acceleration. We stayed in demand for a long time. We finally went back to resistance. So today's session, it's kind of the same thing. But the one thing I'll point out is give your trades more time, right? Because you're seeing it happen on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this week so far. Is these trades just need more time to set up? Even if you were shorting yesterday, like Mike was talking about, Rav went short yesterday at resistance. Notice how long it took. Notice that it didn't just take it didn't take 5 minutes and then bam, you're good to go, right? It took, Mike, how long did it take? Probably took 30 minutes, right? 30 minutes of sitting in
Yeah.
supply, then downside. So demand hold took 3 hours. Give your trades more time today. I think that's the key thing to note about this week so far. That's something that I'm beginning to realize now is like, I'm a fast trader. This in market type this week has been slow. It's been slow. It's been steady. So I think if your levels are holding, you just have to hold your trades for a bit longer. But I do agree, 621 as demand. If we break 621, that's where we're no longer bullish, right? So if you're looking for trades today, it's either going to be on a break and retest above our highs, right? Above 624.50 for longs back into 626. That's your probably your best possible long entry today. Or, I mean, of course, if you pull back to demand again, you can't short back into demand. There's demand back at 622, 621. And then like Mike was saying, you look for shorts back under demand, right? So if we see a break back down under our demand zone, you could look for shorts and then move back down into support into 619, which would be your next level. Where's your next level, Mike? Under 622, where's your next level?
Under 622.
Yes.
618.
618. Okay, so we're kind of in the same ballpark there. I have 619, but he says 618.
618, 619. I see that as a zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, market for me, right? If we lose this 621, 622, if we lose this little gray band here, I'm no longer interested in going long anymore in the market, right? That's my clear inflection point on the S&P is, hey, if we lose this level, I am no longer bullish and we likely go lower. Right now, though, by every metric in the market, we are bullish, right? Because what's going on here? We're just simply structure low, higher low, higher low, right? Consolidating. We can push another high here, another higher low, and upside back into all-time high plus. This should be the most logical scenario to run on SPY. I think this is the most logical scenario. But if we do pull back today and we fail back under 621, 622, that's where we're no longer bullish. We can look for shorts back lower. On the ES chart, what are your levels in ES, Mike?
Yes, it was, what did I say, 63.10, 63.15 area.
Yep.
As supply. That's the same as SPY, 624.50. And then for downside, I mean, 62.90 is what I'm seeing on ES.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same thing for me, right? So that 622 level on SPY would be 62.90 on ES, right? And then that 621 SPY would be 62.80 on ES chart, right? That's your demand below. So far, yesterday's session, we had the little bull flag, right? And then we broke out of the bull flag. We failed back into it Wednesday, right? We ripped higher into close. So that was what happened here on Wednesday's session. Now, today's session, it's either going to be, do we clear out previous day high? If we do, right? Watch for a break above 63.13, 63.13, and pre-market high 63.13. If we can clear 63.13, we're going to see a move back to 63.33, which is our all-time high level. So today's session, if you're watching for longs today, you're looking for this. This is what you're watching for. You're looking for a breakout, a pullback to demand, but give it time to marinate, right? Give these trades time to marinate because this is your level. It may take some consolidation there. If it does it, you hold. If it consolidates for 3 hours, you just simply have to maintain that position and look for longs back higher, right? That would be the most logical scenario today. Let's see what happens and see what trades present, but this would be your best possible long entry. For shorts, I do agree. Under 62.90, you have downside back at 62.80. Under 62.80 is where real downside comes in. That's basically PDL, right? Previous day low is 62.80. If we lose PDL, we can look for a move back down to 62.50, which is our 619 level on SPY. So I think it's pretty clear our levels this morning, right? It's going to be either PDL break for more downside or PDH previous day high for upside. Do you agree with that, Mike? I think it's kind of like in the same ballpark there for both of us.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the most obvious levels are actually on the Qs today.
On the Qs.
Yeah, it's just all-time high. I mean, 557 on QQQ, right. NQ 23,100. It's rejected it a few times, so I think that's like a super obvious level on the Qs.
Right. I think so too. I mean, that seems to be clear. I mean, this was something that we didn't really talk about much in detail yesterday, and it's probably something we should have. Is that previous all-time high on Qs, 557.50, 557.40 is that all-time high level on QQQ. Now today's session, I mean, the question is this morning is, can we clear it, right? If we can clear all-time highs, we are going to see a price discovery move on the Qs and an upside trade, right? So let's watch that and see if we can get something. Watch the previous all-time highs here, 557.50. If I can clear a big upside in the market. If we lose 555, like Mike was saying, if we lose 555, I don't really have interest in going long anymore, and we probably fail back lower. So watching for either a clearance above 557.50, 557.40, which is the previous all-time high level, which is this here and this here. If we can clear that, all-time highs, new PDM move, PDM, price discovery mode, back into highs. If we lose 555, then we fail back into that lower 550. Where's your next level under 555, Mike? You said 550, right?
QQQ.
Yeah.
Below 550, 552.
552. So you have a level at 552. So under that 555, you see 552. Yeah, I see it. I see 550. I see like 553 first, which is that previous day low, and then under 583 we have back into 550 and change. So I see it. I mean, that makes sense. What I'll do is I'll draw a band there so we can have it properly drawn out. So again, like really, for me, it's if we lose 555, you have scalpable moves back down to 583. So it's not crazy, right? Because again, like if you short today, shorting back under 555 could be good, right? But you only have scalpable moves back down to PDL, right? Because PDL is right at 553, so it's not going to be, you're not going to get the whole move down, right? 553 has to clear first for real downside. So if you're looking for shorts today, yeah, this would work under 555, but you only have room back down to that what level is this, 553 and change, which is again PDL, right? Previous day low. So be careful of that. Obviously, understand that there's not much room there, but you could trade it, and it is a trade, right? It is a day trade today, or this for upside, right? If we clear above all-time highs. On the NQ, Mike, do you watch NQ?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. NQ 23,100 is at all-time high. If we break that, it should go.
Right. Yep. Exactly. So all-time high level, which is that 21K and change, right? You can see here, beautiful level of supply. So I agree. I mean, that's just a big level today. I mean, obviously this is the same thing as Q's, guys. It's the same thing, right? So you have a QQQ 555 level, which is the equivalent of 23,000 NQ. 23K NQ big demand, and then under 23K big demand, we have back in the 22,800. So you do have some downside potential under 555. But I mean, there is a level to add here. It's that PDL, right? PDL is 22,918. So have that marked out as well. Because again, if you lose 555 today in the Qs or 22,000 NQ, right? Yes, this is a scalp. You can do it, right? It's scalpable, but it's not going to. It's not a trade you're going to get rich off of, right? It's going to be a small probably win back in the 22.9, because again, this could be another hold spot in the market. So be careful of that. If you are shorting, just be careful shorting back into PDL on NQ. I think that's a big thing to watch out for today's session. Anyway, that's it for our indices. What I want to do is I want to spend the rest of today talking about actual chart setups, besides indices, besides ETFs. Fancy, thank you, Fancy. Thank you for always supporting. That is very kind of you. Maybe we'll get Mike. We'll get you a new webcam. I don't know. Maybe we'll mess around. We'll use the donations to get you a new webcam.
All right.
Do you want to go over Amazon first?
Amazon, sure. Yeah, I mean, so Amazon level is so obvious, guys. It's just been consolidating for 2 weeks now. For any upside, we have to at 225, but I think I would get an early entry if we see a move over 224. But we would have to see some momentum over 224 for me to get an Amazon. Otherwise, it's just a consolidation kind of dead stock right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's been bound up in this channel for a while, right? So I mean, yesterday we spoke about 222 being a breakout level for longs back in the 225, and that was kind of what happened. Today's session, I agree, like it has to clear out that previous day high, right? So that's 224 and change, right? If we can clear that PDH, that 224 level, then we can look for highs. So we can look for a break and retest here, upside trade. That could be a nice trade, Amazon above highs. That 225 level is that previous high of June as well, right? It's high of June, I think it's all-time highs. Oh no, it's not all-time highs. That's not all-time highs. High of June is 225.
No, all-time highs.
Yeah. All-time highs is 242. So you're watching for basically a break above that previous day high, I guess, right?
Yeah, 224. If it gets slippery, then 218 is also like the big demand.
Yeah, that makes sense. Besides that, I like one of my main watches today is Nvidia. Nvidia, really nice. We longed Nvidia on Tuesday's session. We made money on Nvidia on Tuesday, but yesterday's session it just immediately ripped. Right, this was what we spoke about yesterday was a break and hold of 161. This would have been really nice, right? It just cleared 161 with such strength early on in the morning, so there was no opportunity for me. For me, I need pullbacks to go long, right? And this was just a beautiful rip off the gate, so it didn't really yield much of a pullback. Today's session, and I know this is far-fetched, but it will happen at some point. Maybe not today, but it could be even tomorrow, right? Watch the 161 on Nvidia, right? If we can pull back to the previous high, that breakout level, this level has not been tested yet, right? So if we can get a pullback to this demand zone, which is a beautiful double top breakout level, break and retest, pull back along to 161, we can look for a bounce there, right? So for me, this is one of my top watches this morning is look to see can we pull back to 161 on Nvidia. If we do, longs there. We have support at 162.5 as well now. You can see 162.50 as support, and then you also have a supply here at 164.50, which is our previous day high. So don't be long back in the previous day high. I think if you're looking for longs in this chart, it's either going to be back at demand here, 162.50, or it's going to be back here at demand 161. Those are the two things I'd watch out for today's session on Nvidia. But this is a nice chart. We must keep this on the back burner today. Nvidia pull back to 161 or Nvidia pull back to 162.50. Those are both levels to watch out for. Mike, want to do AMD?
Yeah. I have the same thing on Nvidia. I'm also watching 161. So
161.
AMD. I mean, this chart is pissing me off. You guys know, we tried to long AMD yesterday over 140. Obviously, it's working now overnight. I don't know why it didn't work yesterday, but today we can look for that same level. You know, if we get pullbacks into 140, we can look for longs off that same exact level where we were looking for longs yesterday.
It's funny because you look at this price action here, and it looks oddly similar to what happened here pre-market, right? I mean, just almost identical price action, right? Break, fail, reclaim, rip. Break, fail, reclaim, rip, right? That's basically what happened pre-market here at AMD, and it's happening functionally all during the pre-market session, right? So crazy chart in AMD. But I do agree, like going forward now in AMD, it's all about 140. That was the big level yesterday, and it's still the big level today, right? Similar to SPY, guys. This is very similar to SPY. Basically, you just have a beautiful hourly bull flag, and where is this going to? This should go back into 148, right? That's where this is going to. It's going 148. This should be a freight train, a crazy freight train that does not stop. All the way to 148. That's where I would expect this to go to at this point. The question is, are there going to be opportunities to long it in between now and 148? And the answer is, yeah, I think there will be, right? Yesterday it was above 140, just didn't really give much juice. But today, watch 140 now. If the 140 can pull back, look for longs at 140 for upside trades, right? That's what I'd watch out for today's session here on AMD. Moving on, SMH, a little bit of SMH action, right? 285 maintained yesterday. That was your key level, your key spot. 285 maintained. As long as you're above 285 or bullish on the SMH, so keep that in the back burner, right? But nothing crazy here in SMH, right? You can see that we are just at new all-time highs, right? The previous all-time highs is 283, so I actually would adjust my level here. 283 should be the new level to watch out for. The previous all-time highs on the SMH was 283, and we actually got a new all-time high yesterday on semis, right? On the semiconductor ETF, we have now pushed new all-time highs. So watch 283. If 283 is holding, that's your long spot, right? Simple as that here on semis on the SMH. Tesla. You want to do Tesla, Mike?
It's already starting to go here pre-market, but yeah, I mean this 300 level I'm watching, it's starting to break out, but we do have this kind of gap fill on the daily. If it can break back above 300, 304 is where we reacted yesterday or the day before. But if it can break that 304, it should go back to 312.
Yeah. Where's your gap fills to that 313 area?
I have 312. Yeah.
312. Yeah, it is 312. It is 312. You're right. Because look at that candle over there. So 312. Today's. I mean, what did we say yesterday about Tesla? We said don't touch it, right? We said that if it was under 300, don't touch it for longs, and I think it was a good idea, right? It was the right mindset to have. You could become interested in this again now over 300. Over 300, we move back to 304. But if it can clear that 304 level, I think that's where more sustained upside comes in. So Mike basically is talking about the gap fill here. people who don't know what a gap fill is, you guys should already know what a gap fill is, obviously, and most of you guys are traders who know what you're doing. So I shouldn't even explain this, to be honest. But obviously, right above that 304, there's no volume traded here, right, between 304 and that daily candle low 313, 312. So keep it on the back burner. Is that to hold above that 304 level? I like that as well for that gap fill play. Besides that, Apple's something interesting, right? Apple is a little bit. Someone said, "Lou, I appreciate you guys coming here. Are you guys twin?" No, he's just Mike is just white.
I look a year older.
It's also you're wearing the same shirt as me, man. I have the same color shirt. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's got to be it.
So 214 on Apple is a really big level, but I think there is a potential trade here. And the reason why I'm saying this on Apple today is I spoke about Apple downside yesterday, right? I said, guys, if Apple breaks under 208.50, look for shorts. And it did kind of give you something, right? If you guys traded this downside, I'm sure you probably caught something. Under 208.50, there was a little bit of downside play back into 207. But what happened here on Apple, this should tell you something, right? Take a hint from the market here. Apple was the weakest name yesterday, okay? It was the weakest name yesterday, and it broke down under a key level, but then it reclaimed that key level shortly afterwards, right? And that reclaim ended up resulting in what we would consider to be a liquidity grab. Do you guys remember on Monday, right? On Monday, I shorted Tesla under 290. Remember that, right? And then it ended up being a ripper the next day on Tuesday. This whole idea from being the weakest name on Monday sessions, the strongest name on Tuesday session. Why did that happen? It happened because you had people short, just like me, going short under 290, and they get bagged, and it rips the next day, right? Because a lot of those people have to buy back their shares to close their positions and get net zero, right? Now today's session on Apple, it's kind of similar to what happened on Tesla on Monday to Tuesday, right? You had the weakest name, which was Apple on Wednesday's session, one of the weakest names, turning into a reclaim on Wednesday, also yesterday. Now today's session, this could be a strong name to watch for longs. So if I'm trading this for long side, watch it for longs above 211. Simple as that. You can look for a long side trade above 211. If it clears 211, look for upside back at 214, right? That's what I'd watch out for today's session. If it clears back below 208.50, this is a shortable trade, and you can look for a move back lower. But as of right now, I'm interested in going long above 211. That could be a solid trade to watch out for today's session. So, moving on. Mike, do you want to go over Meta?
Meta, I'm not watching anything on Meta. Oh my god, look at AMD.
Is it ripping?
Wow.
It's ripping.
Yeah.
It's ripping.
That's crazy.
It's ripping.
At least we have long-term equity in AMD, right?
Yeah, I mean, just it's going to, like, this is showing me this week. This week is showing me what I'm doing wrong, right? I mean, I'll tell you guys honestly. You guys know in these pre-markets, I'll tell you guys about my trading. It's like I've done really well all this year, but this week is the first week I've seen like that I am not squeezing as much as I can out of these trades, and it's because a lot of these trades are happening after I'm out of them, right? After I sell them, they're ripping, right? Now at least we did well, I think, on Tuesday with Nvidia, but Wednesday session, and we just look at AMD now, right? This is just this is such a bullish chart. I mean, at this point now, we could even watch 142 as a pullback long, right? I mean, that could be a little bit of a higher risk pullback long, but we can keep that in the back burner. So 142 pullback long, or even 140 pullback long, because it's possible 140 doesn't even happen today, right? We can look to see, do these previous lows over here turn into support, right? Because if that turns into support,
Yeah.
that could be a solid long entry today. Anyway, Meta 725. That's what I'd watch out for today's session. You can see 725 as big demand below, right? 725, big demand 725, and then big resistance here at 735. That's all I have here on the Meta chart. Anyway, Delta, DAL, Mike?
Delta ripped. Yeah, airlines, if anyone's in these airlines. I mean, wow, look at that. Delta's up 12%. United is up 9%. American is up 8%. Yeah, airlines ripped because Delta beat earnings, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole sector is up. If you were a day trader on Delta, where would you be long?
Day trader on Delta. Let's see. 53.50 looks like 54. Yeah, 54 is a big level.
Yeah. Yep.
If you zoom out to like the 4 hour, you'll see that.
Yep. Yep. I see it. It's there. It's right there. That's the spot today in Delta. If you guys are some crazy Delta traders, right? You can look for longs at that. And then also your level there, Mike, lines up perfectly with that 50 daily 200 SMA, right? Daily 200 SMA lining up. Where is it? Where is it?
I'll trade Delta.
You want to trade Delta today? A little Delta,
Let's trade
54
Delta.
bounce. I mean, it's a beautiful chart. It is a really good chart. I mean, it's a beautiful just retest of that 200 SMA and previous high. Anyway, moving on. Mara. People want to do Mara. I don't know why Mara, but we'll do Mara. Mara, I mean, it's probably just Bitcoining, right? It's just doing what Bitcoin does, right? Bitcoin is. Look at the bull flag in Bitcoin, guys. I mean, this is we spoke about this Bitcoin bull flag. I mean, and this is what's happening, right? Look at the bull flag here in Bitcoin. I mean, it's already at all-time highs, though. It's at 112 now, all-time highs. It's met the move. It's met the move, right? If it can clear 112, you have a new price discovery mode trade here on your hands. But right now, 112 is big resistance here. I would not be long here now, right? If you were long, the spot to be long in Bitcoin and Bitcoin names was here, right? It was back at demand. Now, if you were trying to look for longs on Bitcoin now, you're basically you're showing up to the party at 4 a.m. Right? It's not going to be good. Everyone's going to already have left. This is the demand. This is the supply. This is the supply. Does it break? It probably breaks, but I mean, how much juices are left there? Right? The entry should have been back in demand. Now, if you're looking at names like Mara, I know. Trust me, I know why you're looking at names like Mara because Bitcoin's moving higher. But you got to understand Bitcoin's at all-time highs, right? And if you can clear all-time highs, you can look for a break and retest. But I mean, 17.0 is your level here, Amara, right? That's the thing I'd watch out for, as I look for some sort of pullback long there at 17.0. But that's it. What else? XOM, nothing. Mike, you have anything else you want to go over today? Any other levels?
I don't see XOM. I don't see coin. I have 380. I'm not really watching that, but that's the level I have. I know people were asking about it.
380. Yeah, 380, big level. 380. I also have a level at 350 for pullback longs. 350 is those previous session highs, right? The previous December, November highs, right? You can look for pullback longs there back at 350 or look for that 380 break and retest. Last ticker. Let's do last one. Mike, Netflix. You like Netflix today? Anything there?
I don't have anything on Netflix, honestly.
1260 for me. 1260 for me. I'm not really watching anything here, but that's that huge trend line and that major demand below. 1260 is your critical level, right? But this is what we said yesterday too. Is we said 1260 as your big support. I would not be short in the 1260, right? This could just be a beautiful little flag consolidation trade back into that 1260 for longs, right? Keep that on the back burner, right? If this can clear out the highs now, look for a push back into that 1341. If it loses 1260, then all bets are off here, and this goes back lower. Guys, thank you all for joining in. I appreciate everyone here. We had over 1,000 people here this morning, which is awesome. You guys are incredible. Thank you for all being here. I'm sure you guys got some value from Mike and I. Subscribe to Mike. Mike has a channel. You guys know his channel on YouTube. It's Mike Trades. Anyways, we'll see you guys all for live trading. Have a happy and safe session.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining. Take care.
Bye, guys.